If you don't know how to have fun, never fear. We're here to help you. Let's go!
You mean we're here to help you?
Yes, we're here to help you.
Sorry, that's just an old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon thing.
Yes.
Never mind us. Simeon, the reason that I'm so excited to do this episode is because I want to discuss our differences.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about multiplayer games first because, for example, when I'm playing against you, if I win, I'm like... And if you win, you're like... jump up and you showboat and you would probably dab if you dabbed.
Yes. Well, I only dab when I do Snoga. Okay. I you know what Snoga is, right?
Yes.
Snoga, for those of you who don't know, is a technique that I have pioneered where when you sneeze, you strike a pose.
Good.
So in one of our previous episodes, I sneezed and I also dabbed at the same time.
So is part of you having fun rubbing in your wins and taking your losses hard?
It is, and that's part of it. I have, several things, but one of my philosophies is you do you. Play the way that you play.
Yeah. But
still be a good sport about it. Don't be too obnoxious. You can be a little bit obnoxious, and that's part of your style. Like Senpai in our local scene, sometimes he goes a little overboard, but most of the time he's just obnoxious in a really, really funny way. I have a story to tell. And this last week, we had one of our friends over, and my wife and our friend Ariana and myself, we were playing Kirby's Avalanche for the Super Nintendo.
Right there.
Yep, it's literally peeking out of the box right over there. And we were playing, and I was playing against my wife, and I had like this ridiculous combo that I dropped on her. And when I did that, I was standing there like on the edge of my seat, and I was like, "Get wrecked, you noob!"
Sounds like you. It really does.
Yes, to my wife, and our friend was like she was like her jaw dropped, and then she could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
But my wife was just sitting there shaking her head because she knows.
So my approach, and what might be a good approach for you, is if it's a multiplayer thing, try not to take it too seriously because it's just a game. You just have fun with it. Now, if you choose to be competitive in a game, I do have advice for that as well. Make sure you have enough time for proper practice because a lot of your competitors will be playing every single day.
Yes.
So if you're not willing to do that or you don't have the time, you're probably not going to be as good as them. So don't expect yourself to be.
Right.
Give yourself months to improve, not just days or weeks. If you need to see the big curve of your improvement, not just, I got 18th place last time and I only got 17th place this time after I practiced so much. You will be more impressed if you are able to zoom out on that progress. And next, make friends with the competition because it's easy to despise the person next to you unless you've hung out a few times.
Yeah, and then it just becomes a friendly match.
Yeah.
Another thing on the zooming out, not just zooming out on your own experience, not that you should always be constantly comparing yourself to others, but in one of our recent tournaments, two of our region's best players were knocked out in round 2, which is they lost first round, they lost the second round, and that was like a really, not to be mean, but that was like really encouraging to me to be like, you don't have to win every time.
Oh, sorry.
I literally got last place at the last Black Wolf.
Yeah,
I got dead last place, and I was like, I was so discouraged, but. Don't take it too hard. Everybody has their tough times.
Yep. Single player wise, I would say do the accomplishments that make sense for you, that make you feel rewarded. And that differs for me by game. In some games, I like to 100% them, and that's fun. In other games, 100%ing would be a chore. Like in Mario games, for example, I really like to get all the secrets and the hidden coins. And I think that is where you see the clever design of the level and solve the most puzzles and stuff.
Yes.
Running through Mario levels to the flag and not collecting things is not fun for me, so I do that. But then in Breath of the Wild, if I wanted 100% that game, I would grow to detest the game. So I just don't. I not a completionist when it comes to certain things.
I think that's wise. I had a conversation with somebody recently about Breath of the Wild, and they said, I'm always the person that 100%'s the game.
Right.
And I used to be that person too. And then he's like, and then I got to Breath of the Wild and found out there were 900 Korok seeds. And he's like, I'm not doing that. No. And it's like, you have to set up reasonable expectations. If you're that 100% person most of the time, realize that certain times it's just not worth it. It just won't be satisfying.
I want the DLC item that just teleports you to each Korok seed, and then you can solve the puzzle, but not have to find them.
Right, that'd be great.
I would chip away at that.
Me, another one of my tips is play games that you like.
Yeah.
If you're playing games to make somebody else happy, that's not necessarily going to make you happy.
You're blowing my mind right now.
Isn't that crazy? Like, that we have to talk about, like, being able to have fun and playing games that you like.
Right.
Certain games I felt like an obligation to play because they're classics, or, you know, this is what's really hot right now. RPGs, when we used to hang out with Jordan Nolting, he would play RPGs, and he's like, this is the best game ever, you've got to play it. And then he'd even let me borrow the games, and very few of them I would get very, very far in, and it's like...
Yeah. Did you borrow Mario RPG from him? Or
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Cool.
And also Chrono Trigger, that was one I never got through. Final Fantasy games, I've played partially through the first one and then none of the rest of them. I don't have to feel bad about that. First-person shooters were really, really big in our teen years, and everybody was playing them.
Right.
We just didn't get into them, and that's okay. Call of Duty.
I think they're still big.
I think they are still big. Call of Duty, I don't think I've ever played a Call of Duty game. I've played Medal of Honor, which tells you how old I am.
I'm pretty into a third-person shooter right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Third-person shooters are great. What third-person shooter?
Splatoon 2.
Oh, Splatoon 2. Yeah, third-person shooters. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Classic must-plays. Ocarina of Time. I've never completed it. I don't have to feel bad about that.
I don't know. You got to stop saying that on this show.
I know. Play fun
or
before...
give it back to me.
Maybe I should give it back to you. Play for fun before you play to win.
All right. I got a few more. Know when to quit, because we played this game Chariot. We had it on this show, a reoccurring Let's Play, and there came a time when enough was enough.
Yeah.
So even though we really wanted to beat it just to say that we could, that's not as important as having fun. So we stopped.
That is true. And once again, one of those videos that... people didn't watch.
Right.
People didn't click on our Chariot.
Yes, there was that too. Also realize when a game might not be for you, even if it's big, even if it's first party. For example, I'm thinking about getting rid of ARMS because it's just not grabbing me. And lastly, know when to use a guide. We have another video on this that you can watch, but basically, being stuck on something that you know how to do, but you're having trouble with it, can be rewarding if you pull through. Being lost in a game, usually not fun.
Yes.
Look it up. Just
do
it.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. That happened to me on Super Mario RPG. Yeah. I made it to a point where I'm like, what do I do now? And it just so happened that I like went through the wrong entrance.
Right.
And it's just like, wow, that's dumb. Another thing, especially with multiplayer, is being the bigger person. It doesn't matter if it's competitive. It doesn't matter if it's friendly.
Right.
Be the player that is the bigger person. Because if you complain about people being cheap,
get good.
Get good, scrub.
Phrase is for.
Get good, scrub. My friend Ronnie actually taught me this, that nothing is cheap.
I just pictured your sister-in-law.
No, my friend Ronnie. Yeah, she's like, she's I think 11 years old now. But no, she's not the one who taught me.
Okay, so
Korean white boy Ronnie.
DJ Theology.
Yeah, DJ Theology taught me this. He's a competitive fighting game player, and he taught me that nothing's cheap. This was in the Brawl days when Meta Knight was out. Some things are broken.
Yep.
We can complain about things being broken, but things being cheap, get good, scrub.
All right.
Learn your way around it. Be gracious.
Yes.
Be the bigger person. Don't complain. Take your lumps, because if you don't, you're going to frustrate yourself. You're going to get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. Get good.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the crew.
Don't forget to sponsor us on Patreon, because every single little cent that you guys sponsor us with, it goes right back into making content for you guys.
See you guys next time.
Signing out.